Almost every day, within every hour, I will receive WhatsApp messages asking me within our house or office which is the location that is representing wealth, or in layman term, what is the wealth corner inside our house or office。差不多呢，每一天每个钟头呢，都会有人 WhatsApp 我问我呢，我家里面或者我的公司里面的财位在哪里？And that is a very simplified version of or method as to how to find the wealth location within your house. Some people mention that. Okay, I received another message again. So there's a very simple version of method that is very popular, so-called online now. That say which describe that as long as you enter into your house, look 45 degrees to your left or to your right, and that will be your wealth corner. I will say that is actually against the very principle of Feng Shui, which have to analyze your entire floor plan according to the facing of your house. And today, I will reveal to you the secret as to how to locate the wealth area within your house or office, so that I can also lower the numbers of messages that I receive every day. I have a lot of clients who are in their 20s or 30s who are going to purchase new houses. And one of the most common problems is that they are not able to choose the right floor plan because so many houses nowadays are having missing corners. And to have missing corners within our house actually is not a positive feng shui phenomenon. I will explain to you why later after I have sent my video link out to my viewers. And today's sharing, you will also learn how to increase wealth in your life after locating the prosperity corner or prosperity location by yourself, right, without the need of a feng shui practitioner. So I am almost done sharing my video link, and you are welcome to ask me any questions likewise, because it is better for me to have a session like this in the evening whereby most of my viewers are free, and all of you can come by to ask me any questions. Then that I have to be not able to focus on my work every day, because almost within every half an hour or 15 minutes, I will receive some form of a message asking me various feng shui or 八字 or 紫微斗数 or 奇门遁甲 questions. So whenever I'm free, I will just come by, okay, to help all of you with any questions related to different kinds of feng shui kind of problems. Okay, so without further ado, right, I know most of my viewers, they want straightforward, dirty and easy guide to feng shui. So I will go straight to the sharing of where exactly is the direction of the wealth corner in your house. All right, see if I can share my screen properly. Hopefully there are no technical issues today. Every time I have to start my sharing, I have to kind of pray in my heart that no technical issues will occur. All right, simple and straightforward and direct. If your house is facing the east direction, then your wealth corner will be at your southwest. All right, direct and straightforward. Okay, no big around the bush, no philosophical explanation. All right, strict and practical. If your house is facing the east direction, your wealth corner will be at the southwest of your house. All right, simple as that. Okay, but how are you going to find what is the location of your house? Very simple. Just stand at the center of your house, right? Just stand at the center of your house, take out your compass. If you don't have that kind of compass that we feng shui practitioner use, right? All right, we Feng Shui practitioners, okay, let me try to show you my compass, okay? Okay, I will be away from the sea, all right, just to show you my compass, okay? So my compass, right, is very big and very large. Of course, it is called the luo gen in Chinese. And if you see this luo gen, right, there is always a compass in the middle of the luo gen, okay? And that is no difference from the compass that you see on your mobile phone, all right? You can always turn on your mobile phone if you are using iPhone or Android. I am very sure that within your iPhone or Android, there will always be some kind of compass, okay? Thanks to modern technology. So what you really need to do is very simple. Stand at the middle of your house, the middle point of your house, okay? Then look straight at your house main door and look at your compass to see what direction is the compass arrow pointing. Okay, very simple. Okay, I believe those people who have went for national service will know how to read a compass. But for ladies, all right, if you don't know how to read a compass, ask your boyfriend or ask your husband, or just listen carefully. Use your handphone. Your handphone will definitely have a compass. Okay, so stand at the center of your house, look at your main door, and then see what is the facing of your main door. Then that will be your house facing. Okay, for example, if we are talking about, right, your house is facing the east direction, okay, then very simple, the southwest, all right, will be your wealth corner, right, as indicated in my slide, right, clearly for all, practical, easy to understand, all right, without a lot of the kind of philosophical explanation that will take a lot of time to digest. Okay, easy. Any questions? So let me take a look at some of the comments first. Okay, Mr. Jerry, thank you very much for watching from Australia, and board also. Hopefully everything is going great. Okay, for your development in terms of the fitness center. And Mr. Puma, good evening also. Mr. Terrace from America, thank you very much for watching from YouTube, and Mr. Raymond. Okay, so very easy. All right, this is the first, all right, the first direction that I will show you. The next direction I will show you is the loft. If your house is facing the lofton direction, then southeast will be your well corner. Okay, simple as that. All right, so we are done with the loft. Any questions? No questions? Okay, the loft, for the loft kind of house, right, main door facing is facing the loft, then southeast will be your well corner, and followed by loft east. If your house is facing the loft east, then your well corner will be at the southwest. Okay, southwest. Okay, if you have a handphone and if you want to do a screenshot, all right, feel free to do it. Okay, I won't copyright all these things, all right, because my aim of sharing my feng shui knowledge is always to help my viewers. And thank you very much, Mr. Fabian, for watching. All right, for my students, all right, Mr. Fabian is my student. There's intensive practical analysis course will resume this Sunday at the same time at 3 p.m. Singapore time. So I will see you all there. Okay, very simple and direct. If your house is or your office is facing the north east, then the southwest will be your well corner. And if your house is facing northwest, then southwest will be your wealth corner, will be your wealth area. If your house is facing the south, then the east will be your wealth area. If your house or your office is facing the southeast, then the northeast will be your wealth area. If your house or office is facing the southwest, then northwest will be your wealth area. All right, so basically I have explained all this area to you. So you can actually refer to them and kind of, have analysis of your own house. As I mentioned before, just go and check what is the main facing of your main door. And then subsequently, you will be able to easily find out what is your wealth corner in your house or unit. But of course, Feng Shui, as I have mentioned many a times before, is actually not so direct and straightforward. All right. Although I will tell you the things that are easier to conduct, right? But in terms of the 8 stars in Feng Shui, right? Namely the Tianyi star. Okay, I will also write in English the Tianyi. It is actually the wealth corner. Okay, this is the wealth corner or the wealth area. In actual fact, it is also an area that will boost or improve our health. As commonsensically speaking, if you are able to have good health, naturally you will have a higher chance of earning higher income because you'll be able to take on more tasks, more projects, or even more occupations so as to earn more income. So let's take a look at Mr. Jerry's question. How about the main door facing to north? So I have already mentioned this earlier on. You may rewind the video to double check on this. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jerry, for the question. And Tianyi is a wealth area because, as earlier on I have explained, right? If you have a better body, of course, you have a better capacity to earn money. And Tianyi by its Wu Xing or the five element, the Wu Xing or the elemental energy of Tianyi is actually of the earth element. Okay, so just remember this point first. I will further explain to you how to boost your wealth after telling you the elemental energy related to specific star. Because as I mentioned before, right? Although I can tell you something very easy and straightforward to digest, but in actual fact, it is also my duty to impart to you the proper feng shui knowledge, especially in terms of Li Qi feng shui. There are two schools of feng shui. One is called Luantou, which is the examination of usually the external environment and the analysis of the celestial movements energy affecting us in this space time. So the next star I'm going to talk about is called Yan Lian. Basically, it is also a positive star. Yan Lian basically refers to energy that will prolong kind of good health or positive progress or developments in your life or in the lives of your family members or occupants. So Yan Lian is basically of the metal element. All right, I would like to call it in English the perhaps the life or the longevity corner or the life prolonging prolonging area. So this is one of the corner that you will find within your house or your office. But of course, in modern feng shui, a lot of houses they are always having these problems whereby they will have a lot of missing corners. All right. For example, just very just a few moments earlier on, I have received a kind of message from one of my clients. All right, perhaps I will, if possible, to share to see if it's possible for me to share. A client is asking me if this house floor plan is positive, so I will just try to see if I can show it to you. Okay, so this is the house floor plan. As we can see, several corners of the house are missing. Right, first of all, right here is missing, one area is missing, and other area is missing. And if you refer back to my chart earlier on, which I talked about, this house is facing the south. Okay, this house is facing the south. So what can you identify from this? The romance area is actually missing from the floor plan. Okay, because if you could kind of rotate this, right, to help my viewers to observe this floor plan, right? This house is facing the south and the main door is here. So you can see The romance corner is missing in this house. And overall, this is an observation that can reveal the situation that people who are going to stay in this house will have negative social relationship or even romantic relationship, because it is not an auspicious arrangement if we have missing corner in area that represents relationships development. So I will not advise my clients to get this unit. Okay, so let's take a look at Mr. Jerry's. Thank you for your question. Also, for the rest of the viewers, you are also welcome to ask me any question. Okay, so just to throw in some theory, because right, Feng Shui ultimately has to be based on theory, but not the imagination or the feelings of the practitioner. Okay, in Singapore, a lot of Feng Shui practitioners, they just walk into the house, they close their eyes and kind of feel the energy of the place and tell you this move here, this move there. This is against Feng Shui doctrine. Feng Shui is derived from I Ching, and I Ching is a form of knowledge that is totally based on logic. 一生二二三三，一生二二三三，三生万物。Right? The Feng Shui theory postulate that we have the Tao, which is the overall rules of the universe. Subsequently, it created the yin and yang energy, which is two entity, right? How does two create three? All right, 一生二，二生三。三, what are san? What are these three things? All right, means that when yin and yang are combined together and kind of they move in a circular motion, it creates metal, which are solid. All right, what are the materials that are solid? The air and liquid. These are the three things, all right, that is created, all right, as we look at the I Ching, all right. Perhaps I will write it down, right? The I Ching postulated that one becomes two, right? One is the ultimate Tao, all right, the Tao. Okay, 无形, it is a kind of invisible force, right? 世界上最大的东西就是什么？就是空啊！好，无穷无，就是无就是最大，空无就是最大，空无就是最大的。好 ，OK， 我写好一点，空无就是世界上最大的东西呀、所以你看，宇宙是最大的嘛？好，无穷无限的，就是我们所说的宇宙啊。所以呢，道就是最大的。All right, 道 is represented by the number one, and then following the subsequent division into yin and yang. All right, the number two actually represent yin and yang. Okay, this is yin and this is yang. Of course, we all Chinese kind of understand what is yin and yang, but for those people who are not born learning Chinese, yin basically is referring to any form of energy that is more heated or that is weak. Like for example, a very simple illustration or example is male and female. Female is of yin in nature, whereas male are of yang in nature, and brightness is of yang and darkness is of yin. The sun is of yang, the moon is of yin. Black color is of yin and white color is of yang. Therefore, if you look at the logo of the Taoist kind of religious logo, you will observe that there will always be one part that is totally right black in color with a white dot inside, whereas the other part is having this white shade with a black dot inside. It is the symbol of yin and yang exchanging energy. And through this exchange of energy, right? For example, when men marry women, they give birth, they will be able to give birth to life. Okay? So when one becomes two and two becomes three, and three will emerge to form everything in this universe. What does it mean? All right, we have yin and yang. Okay, this yin and yang. subsequently divided into or generated these three things in life. The first is liquid, secondly, solid, and thirdly, air. Okay, so when we have three things, ultimately the universe basically are made up of these three things. Am I right to say that? All right, so I don't want to be too theoretical, want to be more practical in analysis. Okay, so just remember all the stars within our floor plan, for example, Shen Qi. Okay, let me just quickly write it down. Shen Qi is of the wood energy, all right, is of wood energy. And then Fu Wei, right, Fu Wei, or what we usually call the stable corner in English, that is in charge of enhancing the stability of the developments of the occupants, is of the wood likewise. Okay, and then subsequently we have jamming. Jamming, right? In English, what should I call it? Perhaps a kind of life-threatening corner. Because jamming is an inauspicious area in the house, usually it will bring about problems to the occupants. It is of the metal energy. Okay, it is of the metal energy. And then we also have the wu gui, right? I always talk about wu gui. Wu gui are, or is the five ghosts corner, five ghosts. All right, and it is of the fire energy. Okay, or regardless whether you are studying 风水、紫微斗数、奇门遁甲、梅花易数、六爻, everything has to be on the five element cycle, the 五行 cycle. So you cannot run away from that. That's the reason why when we want to modify 风水, it is not necessarily that we have to purchase a few $1,000 kind of 风水 items to place at home. Because ultimately everything is just of the five elements. As long as you are using something of that particular element appropriately, you'll be able to enhance the positive energy and counter the negative energy within the house, followed by Liu Sha. The Liu Sha, or maybe I will just call it as 6Q lengths, okay? And the energy is of water. And lastly, we have the Wo Hai. Wo Hai, perhaps I will just call it as the problematic corner. All right, is another inauspicious corner within the house. All right, problematic corner. It is of the earth element. All right, so I hope it's not too philosophical or too hard to understand. But all these are things that we as people who study proper feng shui will have to take a look at. And interestingly, when we want to enhance feng shui for particular members within the house, we can actually also based on the philosophy of both I Ching and the feng shui theory. For example, let's say, okay, your house is one that, all right, for example, this is your house. Right, I don't know, for example, it looks something like this. This is your floor plan, and you find that there is a missing corner at the northwest. The northwest actually represents the father in terms of I Ching. The northwest is of the Qian Gua. Okay, Qian Gua. Qian Gua represents the father, represents the boss, represents the heaven, the sky, etc. So if you happen to want to buy a new house and the northwest corner is totally missing, then I will say this will be a house that is inauspicious for any kind of fatherly figure or for people who actually run their business. You must avoid this kind of house to stay because your position as the boss or the CEO or perhaps your managing director, your position will be at risk if the northwest corner of the house is missing. So try your best to avoid this kind of house or office space. Other areas of the house or other directions within the house also represents different family members. For example, the southwest, all right, southwest is of the Kun Gua. Kun Gua represents the mother, whereas north east, which is of the Gen Gua represents the youngest son. So suddenly, perhaps suddenly you are father, suddenly your youngest son is having fever, falling sick, vomiting, need to go to the hospital. Then what it implies is that you may have placed something wrong at the northeast of the house. This is often the case after having conducted so many on-site feng shui audit. Different areas of the house actually represents different family members. Therefore, do not anyhow buy the kind of strange looking toys, aliens or the kind of predator, the kind of monstrous looking kind of toys, and anyhow place in certain area of your house. It actually will bring about injuries or illnesses to certain family members. So avoid putting anything that is not so auspicious looking. For example, a door that is some people like to call it the kind of, I don't know what they call the dead door, they have blood running out of their eyes or whatever. Or even those yin feng shui items, what in Singapore like to call barang, or yin items, or unorthodox kind of spiritual items like the human skull, the corpse oil of the dead body. If you place it at home and you place it at the right corner, place it at the wrong corner. Actually, there are no right and wrong corner. There are only corners or specific corners or directions that represents certain family members. So let's say your youngest son is falling sick. There is a very high chance that their clients may be putting that kind of unorthodox spiritual items at the northeast of the house. All right. So this is something that I have observed time and again. And that is also the reason why time and again I have advised clients not to get any unorthodox spiritual items, or what in Singapore they like to call it barang, or what we usually call it yin items. All right, yin items are religious or spiritual items that is made from dead body parts, such as using the blood of the corpse, the oil of the corpse, or the bone ashes, or the coffin nails, or whatever that is of unorthodox in the you know uh, Buddhist doctrines. Okay, all right. So just to keep it short, all right, the next direction that we have is of the west. Okay, the west is of the 对卦, and it is representing the youngest daughter. Okay, and after that we have the kan, or what we call the loft. Okay, loft is of the kan gua, and it represents the middle. Okay, it represents the middle sun. And subsequently we have the south, which is of the li gua, which represents the middle daughter. And interestingly, I have mentioned time and again that currently entering to 2024, theoretically speaking, we are entering into the Li Gua Jiu Yun. And that is exactly what I meant by Li Gua Jiu Yun. It belongs to the south and it belongs to the fire elemental energy. And it also represents middle daughter. And generally speaking, it can also represent middle-aged woman. So you will observe one phenomena, which is nowadays many political parties will have female leaders ruling the government, or in the future, most countries will actually have the top leaders, leading the nation. For example, in recent years, okay, Taiwan is having a female president. Even Hong Kong, the last one was the carrier. What was her name? Carrier Lam, right? Lam Zhen Yue. And in terms of Taiwan, we have the Tsai Ing-wen, correct? And then nowadays, Thailand is actually having an election. The daughter of Thaksin is going to run for the government. Will she win? Perhaps I will do a forecast on this in future video. But we can observe even New Zealand. The last I'm not sure if she has gone already. She's still governing. The last president or prime minister was also a female. So you can observe that this is going to be the new trend whereby middle-aged women will become very successful in politics or even in a lot of large organizations throughout the world. And because we are entering into the Li Gua Zhou Yun, and Li Gua is of the fire element. So in the future, in the next 20 years of our world, in terms of economy, we will no longer sell solid products or even services because fire is representing ideas, right? Very much like the light bulb, right? The light bulb, right? The light bulb is like fire. And synapses. What I meant by synapses is, right, if you study psychology, right? Of course, we have those uh, cerebral cortex, all right here, okay, different kinds of parts. But all of them, right, the brain, this is our brain, okay? Let's say this is our brain. Our brain is always having synapses, right? Synapses. And synapses are actually of the fire element. So what it means is that, right, in the future, our next 20 years in this world, what really sell will be ideas, okay? We will no longer be within an economy that sell, all right, of course, we will still sell products and services. But what is more important in the next 20 years is that people will sell ideas. All right, and these products and services will no longer be the main trends in the economy because, as I mentioned, right, the Li Gua Zhou Yun or the non-universal period is of the fire element. That is the reason why you see that nowadays what is the most popular kind of industry. Firstly, social media, right? Social media is very popular. Social media. Okay, people are using TikTok, like doing live, like me right now doing live. Okay, people are selling ideas through TikTok, through Facebook Live, through whatever social media. All right. So this is going to be the trend that will make the most money in the next 20 years. And secondly, who is the richest guy right now? Elon Musk, right? Of course. So Elon Musk actually bought what company recently? He bought the Twitter, right? Twitter basically is just another social media platform that generates idea. And all the most clever people in the world already know. I'm not sure if they have studied I Ching before or Ba Zhi before, but all the most successful people in this world already know in the next 20 years, ideas are the only thing that will sell. Actually, Elon Musk, what is he trying to sell when he make all these rocket science and he talked about going to the Mars. The Mars in Chinese is called what? It's called 火星啊. And will he actually, practically speaking, will able to bring humans to land on Mars during his lifetime? I am not very sure. I have doubts on this, but I am very sure that one thing he is doing right now is that he is selling his ideas. He is selling his ideas to the world. Whether it is going to be a dream that will come true, no one knows. All right, because we all know that this is no easy task to bring humans to land on Mars. How many years will it take for the rocket to actually land on Mars? I'm not sure. I'm no astronomer. No, I'm not rocket science expert. But he is just selling an idea, and people are buying his ideas. And that is why Elon Musk is now the richest guy on earth. All right, so in the future, we also have to take note of this point whereby products and services will no longer be the main trend that people sell within our society or economy. What we will be selling will be ideas, and ultimately what we have right now, like for example, Bitcoins. What is Bitcoins actually ultimately? You can't even see Bitcoins, right? Can you even see Bitcoins? Can you hold Bitcoins in your hands? I will say no, no one have ever touched Bitcoins. Bitcoins is basically just an idea that people agree upon, right? There's no such thing as Bitcoin, but people from their idea generated this concept called Bitcoin. And then people are buying and selling them over different forms of platforms. Am I right to say that? So you can see if you are someone who is clever enough, you know that in the next 20 years, the world will no longer be a place that sell only products or services, but also ideas. So they will start generating your ideas for making money for the next 20 years. Okay, if you really want to be rich. All right. But after the next 20 years, okay, we will be entering into, all right, after the next 20 years, which is from 2024 all the way to 2044, then we will be entering into a water trend. Okay, water, 一百水星 So what will happen during the 一百水星? I'm afraid, right? Okay, something that will happen is a global warming causing rising sea level. Okay, rising sea level globally. So really, we all must love our world and start to recycle our waste. Stop using so much products like paper products. I mean, turn to things that can be recycled. What I'm trying to say, right? Stop using all the plastics and stuff because rising sea level will definitely be a problem that affect all of us after 2044. So will during that time after 2044 will there still be Singapore? I'm not sure because Singapore is such a small country. The rising sea level may have actually will kind of cause Singapore to be submerged underwater. I'm not very sure. But after 2044, right? I know I'm sidetracking again. All right, I always like to give this kind of sidetrack. Okay, but never bear with me. Okay, because I believe it's quite interesting. After the year 2024, the world, the entire world will be very interested in spiritualism. Okay, let me spell correctly. We'll be very interested in spiritualism. People will perhaps there will be scientific evidence to show that we are actually made of soul and spirits. And people will no longer be so focused on the technology kind of progress. They will turn to religion, philosophy, and people generally will be nicer. But in the next, okay, but before this, right, because from 2024, all right, from 2024 to 2044, because it's of the fire element, so you will kind of feel that people will become more angry, more hot tempered, and less tolerance, and also they like to distance themselves from one another. As I mentioned before, very much like during the COVID-19 time, people like to have social distancing measure, and divorce will be very commonplace in the next 20 years, all right, because it is slightly of the Li Gua. Li Gua actually can represent separation. Okay, so I have sidetracked a lot. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that we can prepare for the future after we have learned all this. So just now I have talked about the various elemental energy until Li Gua. So now I will talk about the east. All right, the east of the house basically is of the Zhen Gua. Zhen Gua represents the eldest son of the house. Okay. Lastly, we have the what we call the southeast. Southeast actually is of the Xun Gua, and it represents the eldest daughter. All right, so you may ask, okay, so Master Jason, after knowing all this, so what? Okay, so what? Yes, now I'm going to tell you, so what? All right. So how? So what? Why I try to tell you all this is that, for example, your house is facing the west, right? Okay, and then the loft is your well corner. So earlier on, I have mentioned that which is of the which is of the loft. Loft belongs to the kan gua. Okay, right? Kan gua is of the loft. And then subsequently, you can look at this kan gua because it is of the loft. You can actually place certain objects to enhance the tian yi. The loft is of course of the water elemental energy. And some of the items that you can put to enhance wealth is, for example, plants with big leaves, like live plants with big leaves. Why we always emphasize on the use of plants is really because plants have life energy. It can give out qi. Qi is, especially live qi, is very effective in the enhancement of wealth energy. Therefore, I have emphasized again and again that we don't need to buy expensive feng shui items to boost wealth for our family or for our office. What we really need to do is to find a kind of object that is both in terms of the chi energy and in terms of the meaning and the auspiciousness, or the psychological effects that will give you that kind of influence. Likewise, we can place items such as, even your safe, like a safe that keeps money or valuables inside. That is something that you can put at the tian yi area or the wealth area of your house. It is just that simple. And for example, if you run a fitness center, for example, you can actually place valuable items like your trophies, the awards that you have won from competition. Everything that is expensive, valuable to us as humans, everything we consider as precious, as treasures, you can place them at the wealth corner of the house. It's really just that simple. But ultimately, right, why I explain to you the Wu Xing or the elemental energy of the Tian Yi, of the Shen Qi, or the Fu Qi, whatever, is to know that when for example, a Tian Yi area is being paired with a corner of the house that is boosting it further. For example, let us find a corner of the house. For example, in this, for example, we have let's say we find a direction of the south. Let's see if we can find a south, or whereby or perhaps this area, perhaps, okay, perhaps we find the east. Okay, for example, your house is facing the south and the wealth corner, because I have mentioned Shen Qi, or the Tian Yi. Tian Yi is of the earth elemental energy. And then you have at the east is where your Tian Yi star is falling into. Tian Yi is of the earth elemental energy, east is of the wood elemental energy. Therefore, you can put some lighting there, keep this area bright all the time, because having a lighting that is on 24/7, that is of the fire element, that will create the Wu Xing cycle of wood creating fire, and fire subsequently enhancing the earth elemental energy, which is what this Tian Yi star is belonging to. So this is a deeper level of feng shui analysis, and that is the reason for people who are really interested into going in deeper into a more professional level, you have to observe the elemental energy of the direction and the elemental energy of the star. And I have also mentioned before, the east is of the Zhen Gua. Zhen Gua represents the eldest son. So in such a case, this house would mean that the eldest son will earn the most money, generally speaking. All right. For example, if you are parents who are going to retire, will be retiring soon, this kind of house, if so happen you have an elder son, then this elder son will likely to have very positive career progress and able to earn a lot of money. All right, so this is a deeper level of Feng Shui, professional level kind of analysis, but I will not expect all of us to understand at this moment because I know, all right, whatever is easier to understand will be easier to absorb and will be, kind of easier to spread also. But my emphasis is not to provide you with mental junk foods, all right? A lot of feng shui practitioners like to give you that kind of mental junk food, asking you to go and buy a bigger wallet, you're double the size of your wallet and your wealth will also double. Then as well, you go and carry a wallet that is 55-inch long, right? Carry a wallet with you that's 55 inches long, right? And then walk on the street and see if your money will be multiply 10 times, okay? Go and try it yourself at home, okay? Remember to try to prove whether it really will work, okay? So all of us remember, tomorrow, go and buy a wallet that is 55 inches long, okay? And carry it with you to your office or to your workplace. And then tomorrow, your boss will immediately give you a pay raise, all right? Right? If you really believe in this kind of theory, all right? I call this kind of theory mental junk food because many people like this kind of mental junk food when they are free, they just, like eating potato chips, absorbing all kinds of nonsensical feng shui theories and knowledge, which ultimately help no one but the feng shui practitioners in terms of the viewership, okay? So, so to put this aside, is always my belief and my emphasis to provide you with proper feng shui knowledge. And let's say, right, you are not analyzing your house feng shui. Instead, you are actually wanting to analyze the feng shui of your workplace, your factory, your house, whatever. Then you have to listen, all right, to give you an even more professional level kind of feng shui teaching. How are you going to analyze your work performance, right, from a feng shui perspective? In case, right, you really want to also take into consideration office feng shui, then remember fu wei in feng shui, all right, this fu wei, all right, in feng shui, right, is actually referring to the staffs or employees performance. And additionally, the products of the company, right? Why is it is located at the fu wei? Why the fu wei represents this area? Because fu wei has to be stable, and for your company to have a stable operation, your staffs, your employees have to be stable, and also your products and services would need to be stable in order for your company to run profitably. All right, so it's all very commonsensical and very logical. And secondly, 生气 Sunchi area within our office or our factory actually represents our brand name or brand image. Okay, brand image. So remember, if you want to improve your brand image or the positive developments of the company, then you have to make sure that this Sunchi area is properly modified in terms of feng shui. As I mentioned earlier on, right, within the chart, right, this kind of chart we have, all right, we also have this Sunchi area. I have actually stated all of these, all right, all of you can screenshot and do a record on your mobile phone. For example, your office, your factory is facing the southern direction. Then Sunchi area is an area that you must take good care of if you want to have a proper or a positive company image or positive developments for your overall operation. Okay, so all these are very important when we want to analyze office feng shui. And thirdly, we have the five ghosts or the wu gui. And this actually will represent the brand name. And also how this brand name will perform in the market, perform in the market. Okay, so we have to take good care of the Wugui area. Usually, Wugui area is a problematic area because usually, in terms of the market, it is a place full of challenges and competition. And that is also why Wugui area within your office or factory will represent the performance in the market and your brand name. All right. And followed by wall high. Wall high actually represents the asset or the property that belongs to the company. So if you want to check your company whether it will subsequently be able to own the factory space or the office space one day, all right, you have to boost the Feng Shui arrangement within the wall high area. And of course, we have the wealth area, which is represented by TNE. TNE is an area that represents customers and clients. All right. So if you, this is where our money comes from, right? So it's very commonsensical. Our money comes from our customer and clients. All right. So this is also the area that is represented by the TNE area. And subsequently, we have the Jueming area. Jueming area actually represents the orders and also the policy of the company to discipline the staffs. All right. Because orders are actually something that the company needs to fulfill. Right? It's a kind of duty. Right? That 你要待命啊。好。待命不懂有没有写错 ？Okay. Then policies and also like company policy, like disciplinary kind of policy for the staffs. All these are under jamming. And then subsequently, Yan Lian and other positive area, it is related to the CEO, the directors, managers, right? Because they are the ones who carry out long-term planning for the company. As I mentioned before, longevity, right? Longevity is related to Yan Yan. So even the longevity of the company, right, have to, like how long the company survive, of course, will depends on the capacity or the talents, the ability of the CEO, the directors and managers. And followed by Liu Sha, lastly, Liu Sha. Liu Sha is actually related to the talents that we have. And also the cash flow that the company have. All right. These two areas are representing Liu Sha. So likewise, you can apply these concepts to your floor plan to check what are the areas that is within your house or office that can boost wealth or to help the managers to manage the companies better and or even to have employees and talents within your company, etc. And one of the simplest ways, right, to boost our feng shui is using the 5 holy beasts. They are the phoenix, Feng Wang, Feng Huang, Ho Feng Huang, Phoenix is belonging to the fire, all right, fire element, because it kind of guides the southern area. And then we have the white tiger at the west. All right, this is the west. And of course, this is of metal element. And Pisio is also belonging to the metal element, right? Pisio, if you know, is the holy beast that can actually fetch money, but they will not pass out money, all right, from their body. And at the loft, we have the total, or what we call 玄武. 玄武 governs the loft. Actually, is the what we call the turtle, okay, or turtle. All right, well, we just draw it, all right, for simple understanding. It is of the water element, and then followed by the dragon. Dragon governs the east. All right, so it's of the wood element. And what else can I tell you? Is that right? And subsequently, we have at the center麒麟, right? 麒麟好像很难写嘞，麒麟啊。Okay, something like this, all right? 麒麟, the Chinese name. It is an animal with two horns, right? Try to draw, right? With a dragon head, right? But it has four pair of, two pair of legs, all right? Is able to fly. Okay, use all these holy beasts to boost your feng shui is a very effective method. Just follow the elements of the of the holy beast, right? Ceiling is of the east. Ceiling is of the east because it is comprising of the four directions holy beast. Because ceilings have the dragon horns, it has the skills of the dragon also, and ceiling is able to swim like the turtle and fly like the phoenix, and also have the teeth, right? The fierceness of the white tiger and the pixiu. So depending, right? You look back at your floor plan. How are you going to boost it? Just put the appropriate holy beast at the. Did I show you the chart just now? All right, perhaps I need to show you once again. All right, so this is my drawing. Technical issue again. So let me show you the diagram. Okay, so this is the diagram I have drawn earlier on. Right, so let me explain to you once again. We have the phoenix, which is the fire, Feng Wang at the southern direction, and then followed by battle energy, which is the white tiger or what we call Pi Xiu, also at the west. Turtle governing the north, which is the Xuan Wu, and this is the Long, okay, the Long. Dragon governing the east, all right, and Xilin actually governs the center area, which is of the earth element, because Xilin is having the horns of the dragon, the skills of the dragon, its ability to swim represents the Xuan Wu or the turtle, ability to fly and discharge fire from its mouth or and the body is very much like the phoenix, and having the teeth of the white tiger and the pixiu. So Qilin is actually very good for people who are into 正行, what I call it 正行. 正行 means like you are into very conventional kind of career or industry. For example, finance, logistics, not logistics, property perhaps. Okay, because I have mentioned Qilin is of the earth element, right? Qilin is of the earth element, and finance is of the metal element. So if you are into finance industry, you can use Qilin as a way, as an auspicious holy beast to improve your feng shui. Just place it at the left of your work desk will be good enough. But of course, ultimately, you want to really hit the right spot. You really need to analyze your entire floor plan, check what is the main door facing of your unit, and then subsequently plot out the Shenqi area, the Tianyi area, Zheming area, Wugui area, blah, 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 etc. to know whether you are doing it right. And then for people who are into property, you can also use Qilin because its property is of the earth element also. So Qilin is a very positive or auspicious feng shui object for people who are into this kind of conventional, because conventional is also of the earth element. 因为他们是那个我们叫做比较保守的，保守的事业。all this you can actually use Qilin. If you don't know how does Qilin look like, right? Let me see if I can quickly let you have a look of a Qilin, right? Let me see if I can find the Qilin photo for you. Qilin, where are you? So let me try to find a Qilin. Okay. All right, I don't have a Qilin photo. Perhaps I will do a Google search. 麒麟. All right. So thank you Google for being so fast. Okay. So this is how a Qilin look like. If you really want to get a Qilin, if you're into a property kind of industry, you are into kind of a financial industry, you can use Qilin. Qilin basically have the horns of the dragon, have the kind of the skills of the dragon, but is able to swim. Like the turtle can fly like a phoenix. All right, so y'all can Google and find one for yourself. All right, usually for people who are into more conventional kind of business, 比较保守的行业. But what about people who are into unconventional kind of business? For example, my kind of business, which is related to Chinese metaphysics or astrology, then you can actually use a 貔貅. All right, I will write in English first. 貔貅spells like this. Okay, let me show you a photo of 貔貅. 貔貅, 貔貅. Okay, not sure if Google is able to understand me also. That is something that I need to try again. All right, so please bear with me. 貔貅天龍. Okay, so I'm able to find it. 貔貅 actually is very popular in Singapore. I believe most people will know what is 貔貅. So 貔貅most of the time looks something like this. All right, 貔貅most of the time looks something like this. Right, but remember, okay, remember one thing. Beside 貔貅, there is another version of it which is called what we call the 辟邪. Okay, you have to identify the both properly, right? Because 辟邪 is basically for guiding the tone. Okay, so you have to differentiate the both. And if you get the wrong one, actually, you will actually bring about bad luck to your house. Okay, so if you don't know how to choose the proper one, you can always ask me. I will guide you. And most of the time, Pichou, right, we have to choose one that looks like is lively, because Pichou likes to sleep a lot, all right, as according to legend. And if you find a Pichou, right, that looks tired, doesn't look energetic, it will not be able to help you to fetch wealth. And of course, it is good to find a Pichou that has a very big mouth, because it will be able to fetch you more wealth, so to speak. But all these are feng shui kind of belief, because they are different kind of feng shui. As I mentioned before, feng shui consists of, right, what we call the behavioral feng shui and psychological feng shui and environmental feng shui. So feng shui is supposed, all right, to affect us firstly our behavior. Secondly, our psychological state. And thirdly, of course, our environment. So if you want to have a holistic feng shui modification, you can never take all this out of the equation. Your feng shui modification will always need to modify the behavior of the occupants, the psychological state of the occupants, and the environmental auspiciousness, or actually the condition of the environment. I've also always mentioned that feng shui is basically just about feng, which is airflow, and shui, which is humidity. So if you're able to get the airflow or the ventilation right within your environment, and the level of humidity right within your house or your office, then very much you are able to have your feng shui boosted by 25% already. And for example, psychological state, we can use different colors to bring about different effects. For example, I have mentioned already in the past that red color actually is not so good to be used in feng shui, but I don't know why, right? In Chinese, they always like to use the red color. That's why you look at the history of China is always full of bloodshed, right? I mean, practically speaking, when China has ever enjoyed peace and really prosperity? Even until today, all right, so-called there are many billionaires from China now, right, investing in many different countries. But look at majority of the population. They are still under poverty and have to struggle a lot in order to learn a living. So red color, additionally, is able to increase the negative effects of 二黑五王 in 九宫飞星二黑五王 are actually the worst star, the most negative star, which are both of the earth element. So if you use red color and place it everywhere, perhaps you use the red carpet and let it occupy a very large area within the house, you are boosting the star energy of the 二黑五王 or the two black and five yellow. Definitely, this will cause problems to your house. The ninth flying star is such that it will jump to different areas of our house every single year. Okay, for example, in the year 2023, all right, in the year 2023, the flying star is actually flying to the northwest. Okay, our flying star in the year 2023. Okay, this is the year 2023 癸卯 year. All right, 2023 癸卯 year. And our one is here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the east. All right, and this is the west. This is the north. Right, I will just write it here, and this is the south. Okay, so you can see northwest, which is right here, is where the five black is. Okay, this is the 武王. So if you all really don't believe, right, you all go and try on a light there 24/7, put it at the northwest. The father of the house will definitely experience career problems, financial leakages, or even health issue. All right, go ahead and try if you don't believe in it. But I will say for those people who actually have a brief idea of what Feng Shui is about, what flying star is about, okay, remember to put the imperial ancient coins. All right, okay, just to touch on this again, two black is at the east. So I have mentioned time and again in the year 2023, there are three kinds of people will usually experience problem. Firstly, father of the house. Secondly, the eldest son will always experience problems. And because I've also mentioned the universe is expanding and the ancient calendar is not able to catch up with the actual speed of the star, so even as early as the year 2022, second half, all right, second half, a lot of father and son within the family will already be experiencing a lot of negative events or changes in their life. For example, suddenly they become very hot-tempered, have a very bad personality, or they have negative career performance, making a lot of mistakes at work, have financial leakages, falling sick, going into hospital, dying. All right, I have a lot of clients reporting to me all these kind of events. They are real, and uh, you know who you are also, because most of my clients here actually have watched my life and also always ask me questions via WhatsApp. So I will say even in the year 2023, all of us must be cautious, take good care of our father, and look after the eldest son within the family, because they are more prone to problems. So what you can do to solve this problem is to place the kind of imperial Asian coins. Okay, imperial ancient coins, imperial ancient coins. All right. If you are trying to solve the problems of the northwest, right? Okay, in the past, usually we will use 5 of them. The imperial ancient coins, or what in Chinese, which is called 五帝钱, 五帝钱. Okay, basically they are of the five most powerful emperor in ancient China of the Sun Tzu and of the Kanxi. Some of you all like to watch that kind of Chinese that kind of drama, right? Must have already known who is this Kanxi and Yongzhen. And Qianlong, of course, is one of the most powerful emperor in ancient China who have so many wives. I can't imagine why is it that they lead so many wives, right? And then most of the time their concubines will just stay in the palace throughout their life, right? Lead a very sad and lonely life. Okay, so these are the Wu Di Tong Qian. You can actually place them um at the east and at the southwest. Okay, so this is basically some of the major things that you can do for your house feng shui. So take a look at Aries comment. Some bank front door put qilin. Yes, you are correct. Actually, Hong Kong. If you look at the HSBC bank, right, in Hong Kong, do you remember this HSBC? I believe Singapore also have HSBC, Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, right? You know, in Hong Kong, this bank looks something like I'm not good in drawing, but it looks something like that. Then in front, right, they actually place a very huge lion at the front of the bank. All right, this is lion. All right, just imagine it's lion. Okay, so why they want to do that? It is really because, right, this is Hong Kong's HSBC Bank or Hang Seng. I think it's Hang Seng or either Hang Seng or HSBC. Anyway, the Hong Kong Long Mai, all right, Hong Kong the Long Mai, right? Okay, let me try to draw Hong Kong map, all right. I will try my best, but I'm not good in drawing, as I mentioned. The map of Hong Kong is something like that. So HSBC is somewhere here, and the Long Mai, right? The Long Mai, the Long Qi of Hong Kong is drawn from China, okay? The Long Mai or the Feng Shui Long Qi is all the way from China. So in order to counter this qi from China, they have to place the lions there to kind of okay, in Feng Shui, right, there's this thing that goes Yao Kuai Fa Dou San Sha 战斗的斗是不是这样写？OK， 斗善，诶，好像不是这样写的。OK，我查一下。OK，要快法斗三杀啊，战斗是这样，这个斗，这个是抖音的。我最近看到太多抖音了，所以也写这个抖音的那个斗。所以呢，要快发斗三煞，什么意思呢？这个风水的理论是什么意思？哦，要快发斗三煞，就是 if you want to make quick money and want to become rich quickly, right? Become rich quickly, you have to battle. You have to battle the Sha Qi. So if you have ever been to Hong Kong, right, you will realize that at the Victoria Harbour, this Victoria Harbour, okay, okay, let's say this is your Hang Seng or your Hong Kong Shanghai Bank. So they place the lion right here, the lion, all right, lion, okay, this is a lion, whatever, okay, this is a lion, and as I mentioned, the qi of Hong Kong is all the way drawn from China, the mountain range from China. And they actually have to counter this qi, right? In order to win over, to battle this Sha Qi, all right, battle the Sha Qi, so as to become rich quickly. Okay, so that is the reason why they use the lion also. And lion is of the metal element because lion, generally speaking, people consider it as a golden color kind of animal. So lion as a metal element is able to generate water. Water is related to stocks. Okay, let me write a new page. Water is related to stock exchange, kind of financial services. Okay, financial services, especially those is related to the lending of money and the investing of money. This is basically what banks do, right? They give you the credit card so that you are lending money, you are borrowing money from them. And then subsequently, your bank saving, they will take them to invest in other things in order to generate revenue. So this kind of financial services, investment services, lending services, or stock exchange are all belonging to the water elemental energy. And that's the reason why they use the lion, right? Lion, lion is a metal element, thus enhancing water. And when you look at Singapore, why is it that Singapore used the Malayan? All right, let me try to see if I can draw a Malayan properly. All right, the Malayan is something that looks something like this. Okay, I think just assume that this is a Malayan. Okay, the the fish. All right, the Malayan fish. Why Singapore chose Malayan as the mascot? It is really because, all right, okay, it will discharge water. Okay, Malayan, first of all, is of the metal element, all right? And then when it is discharging water from its mouth, it is a sign of Wu-Xing cycle of metal enhancing water. And that is basically what Singapore lacks. Singapore lacks what kind of resource? Singapore, of course, lacks water, right? It has to buy, I mean, literally speaking, it has to buy water from Indonesia, etc. And if you look at the founding date of Singapore, right, you all go and double check, right? The founding date of Singapore, it is of the water, it is of the Yi wood element. Yi wood, that is weak, thus leading the water element as a form of resource factor, bringing about growth and prosperity to Singapore. So there is no coincidence that Singapore is doing all this at the Marina Bay, all right, Marina Bay. What else do you see in terms of the Marina Bay Feng Shui? The flower, the science and art center or whatever that looks something like that. That looks like a flower. The science art center or something, right? Which is right next to the Marina Bay Sand, right? If you all know, right? Perhaps I will try to show you the photo because my drawing is terrible. Okay, Science Art Center. All right, Science. Is it called Science Art Center at the Marina Bay? Okay. Yeah. So this is the thing. All right. This is what I'm trying to show you actually. So this is what I'm trying to show you. This place, which looks like a flower. So what is flower in terms of feng shui? Of course, flower is yi wood, right? Yi wood. I have mentioned Singapore founding day is also of the yi wood. So having this flower placed next to the water at the Marina Bay area is also a sign of, right? First of all, we have the Malayan. Okay, I will stop drawing because my drawing is terrible. So I will show you the Malayan. So you have the Malayan, right? You have the Malayan at the Marina Bay, discharging water, all right, discharging all this water into the sea. And then subsequently, this water will lead to this flower at the other side of the sea. So in terms of Wu-Xing cycle, even idiots will know, right? It is a sign of metal enhancing water and water enhancing wood. And Singapore, I have mentioned before, is of a yi wood. And that's why, right, you have all this arrangement within Marina Bay. It is no coincidence. Everything is planned properly by the, I don't know, the government or the people who build this Marina Bay area, all right? It is a matter of whether you are able to recognize it. And subsequently, we also have the garden by the bay, all right? Garden by the bay, which is also of the wood element, the whole thing, right? And with all these gigantic trees, everything is planned properly at the Marina Bay area of these gigantic trees, right? All these are for boosting the luck of Singapore as a nation. All right. So it's very interesting. If you study Feng Shui, you will actually know a lot of things. And you will know that behind every success actually is a very good Feng Shui setting or 布局 or Feng Shui kind of modification taking place. But most of us as like for people who have never studied Feng Shui before, we all say, oh, because all these things look nice, it's there for just for decorative purposes. But behind every form of kind of landform or landscape that is man-made, especially in countries or cities that are rich and prosperous, or very successful kind of nation, all of them are actually building their landscape or different kind of architecture, kind of different kinds of buildings according to Feng Shui principle. Yes, so take a look at Mr. Raymond's comments. Singapore is weak wood. That's why need to enhance wood element. Yes, that is also the reason why Singapore is well known as the garden city. One of the things that Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, has emphasized during his lifetime is to plant as many trees as possible throughout the entire Singapore. All right. And if you observe closely, in Singapore, usually within every single neighborhood, you will see cats at many places, right? But if you go to other countries, usually you will not see so many cats. Cats is actually of the Yi wood element. If you study 八字, right? Mr. Raymond, if you know, right, cat is actually of the yin wood, right? This is of the wood element. So if your 八字, if your 八字 is one that lacks the wood element, you can also keep pets, all right? If your 八字 is one that lacks the wood, right? Especially people who have the gunmetal day master that is strong, then you can keep cats, as that will bring about good luck. Yin wood is cats, okay? So that will bring about good luck. Let's say if you are of a 八字 that is lacking the earth element, right? 八字 lacking the earth element, then you can keep dogs, all right? Dogs are, of course, of the she element, which is of the earth. So who are the people who can keep dogs? Perhaps let's say wood day master that is strong, okay? Wood day master that is strong. You can keep dogs, all right? Let's say you are a 八字 that is lacking the all right, I will add not shit, all right? If your 八字 lacking the water element, then you can keep live tortoise now, okay? I don't think you can keep the big turtle at home, or fishes, right? But remember, they have to be live, all right? They have to be live, okay? If you just put the tortoise shell there, tortoise shell in itself, when it is dead, right? The tortoise shell in itself, when it is dead, when the tortoise is dead and is only left with the shell, right? Right? Then this is of a 离卦 already, 离卦. Because whatever is empty within is called 离卦. And if you look at the tortoise shell, right, actually it hides the heavenly stems and earthly branches, right? Let me let me explain this very interesting point to you, all right? If you look at a tortoise shell, the tortoise shell, the front part, right, it looks like this. Or perhaps I will just simply show you a photo. Okay, it's easier. It's better for me to show you a photo than to draw you a very ugly picture. Okay, let me try to find a proper image to see if okay, this is the best that I can find. So please bear with me. Okay, not sure if I'm able to find. Okay, perhaps I will just draw it out. Huh? This is a turtle, the tortoise shell. And if you look at the underlying part, right, it looks like that. 一、二、三、四、五、六，一、二、三、四，一、二、三、四、五、六。So you can see, right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And actually, the bottom part of the tortoise shell represents the 12 earthly branches. Okay? So it actually hides the secrets of the universe, so to speak. And when you look at the top part of the tortoise shell, right? The top part of the tortoise shell, let's say this is a tortoise, okay? As I mentioned, I'm not good in drawing, but I will try my best, all right? If you look at a tortoise shell, the top part actually looks like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these actually are the 八卦, all right? 八卦 are the 乾坤乾坤艮兑 and then 正离正离巽乾坤艮兑kind of miss out one, right? Okay, just give me a moment. So these are the 八卦 that you will see, all right, within the tortoise shell. Am I right to say that? 坎 yeah, 坎. And this actually hides the secrets of the universe. And if you look at the outer layer here, right, there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right, all the way to 24, all right? The 24 seasonal energy. So actually, the tortoise actually hides the secrets of the universe. So let's take a look at Mr. Raymond's comments. It's our founding father, water element. That's why he runs the country so well. You are exactly correct. Okay, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's Batu chart, if you go and open up his chart, right, I actually have it on my phone. Right? Since you asked, right, as well, I explained it also. If you look at Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's birth chart, right, all right, I will just go ahead and generate his birth chart for you and then explain the relationship between Mr. Lee Kuan Yew and Singapore. Right? Mr. Lee Kuan Yew is born in the Kui. All right, let me write it smaller because I need more space. So Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, right here, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew is born in the Kui Hai year, born in the month of Xing Yu, and the day master is Ren, sitting on Chen. Time of birth, of course, no one will know, but I have chosen it as the Ren Ying. And let's take a look at, all right, for example, sorry, I have not shared my screen. So this is the birth chart of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, okay, Mr. Raymond. So just for study purposes, I will write down both Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's chart and the founding day of Singapore. The founding day of Singapore, let's use a different color. All right, Singapore is actually of 乙是耶甲申满乙为 day and 丙子 hour. So immediately you can see what is the relationship of 人 and 乙. 人 is the direct resource, or what we call 正印. Okay, use a different color. 正印 it is what benefits or supports Singapore. That is also the reason why Mr. Lee Kuan Yew is able to govern Singapore so well, bringing it from a third world country to a first world country within less than just, I will say, half a century. Additionally, we can see that Mr. Lee Kuan Yew is of a strong day master of rainwater. You see, all these are elements that is enhancing the strength of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, causing him to be such a strong and wise person. I have touched on this again and again that in Bazi reading, water element equals to wisdom, equals to knowledge. Also flexibility, and earlier I have mentioned finances. So under the government that is created by the by Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, right, who is someone that is full of wisdom and knowledge and is very flexible in his planning and bringing about great finances to Singapore. So all this can be clearly shown in Bazi reading. All right, so it is already 1 hour 30 minutes. All right, I didn't mean to drag this to this long today, but I hope I have somehow created a more holistic kind of background knowledge to my viewers today in terms of Feng Shui reading. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you very much, Mr. Raymond, Aries. Aries have more comments. Malaysia too. Malaysia, in terms of the Malaysia bank, is it? Yes, a Malaysia bank, is it? Are you referring to the Maybank? Anyway, yes, different banks, they do use this different kind of mascot according to what is auspicious to the founding day of their company or the feng shui of their company. So any questions from any viewers? Mr. Jerry, thank you very much for being here tonight. Mr. Fabian, Mr. Terence, Mr. Puma, and Mr. Board, thank you all for joining my live today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will stay on for another minute to open the floor for any questions. So it seems that no one else has any questions. So in the future, I will continue to impart to my viewers authentic and accurate information in Feng Shui study or Feng Shui modification. Do stay tuned. Once, whenever I'm free, I will come online and allow my viewers to ask any questions likewise. And if you have any questions, even regarding your own life developments or your house Feng Shui, how you should do it yourself and change it for the better, feel free to ask me during this live consultation. Thank you all for watching and wishing you all a good evening. Bye bye.